It doesn't matter who was on Jokic, Cat, or the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. He was still cooking and still getting busy, even in situations like this, where you got Jokic and pay attention to where he's going to catch the ball and where everybody is going to be, right? He's in the middle of the floor and everybody is to his left. And now just looking at the floor like this, it's like everything's compact. How could you put the defense in rotation when there's like no space? But understand, even when he is here in a situation like this, look at where he's looking. Reading this weak side because you know Gobert is going to step in and help at any sort of drive to the rim from Jokic. And so the second that Jaden McDaniels steps to that left, to that block, I kick that to Porter Jr. I put you in rotation despite the fact we had 4 people on one side of the floor. And that right there is crazy work. Smart, high IQ basketball by Jokic. Now, when you got Jamal Murray coming off the screen with Jokic, middle of the floor, all the pressure right now is on Gobert because you got Jokic on this roll. And so when Jokic gets this catch, he's unfazed by Rudy doing that bullshit bait that he just did. For one reason, because when he gets that catch, he goes into the rhythm, the motion of a floater, but he could also float and lob it. So regardless if Rudy Gobert jumps, he could just float it to a lob if he's uncomfortable taking the float. And so he just takes the float and realizes Gobert was baiting. Easy buckets. If you just watch Jokic, you know that when he posts up, he's going over his left shoulder to that right hook. But how is it so unguardable, right? Because pay attention. Now that he's ended up forcing Cat to open up his base right here, Cat's now trying to compensate for that and pay attention to his right elbow from Jokic. Pay attention. Or this left elbow, I should say. This left elbow from Jokic. Hits Karl Anthony Towns right there on his left side, forcing that left leg to then drop back, get him off balance, hook around. I have all the space I need, and I once again get to my right hand, and you can't stop it. When it comes down to these post moves from Jokic, you really got to slow down and see how he's able to shift people and able to get his angles, right? So notice, when Jokic gets this catch right here, Naz Reid, he faces up, spins, turns his back. Watch this first bump. Hits him, Naz Reid prepared for that. You see all that space right there and then. Jokic not no small dude either. That was a big bump. And so now Naz Reid is waiting for the second bump. The second bump is what Naz Reid's trying to be a step ahead for. He's trying to anticipate, right? So Naz Reid's going to step right so then he could be able to brace himself for that. But Jokic, shimmy, gets right back over to that left shoulder. Right foot, right hand, hook. That's tough. You know, you got Jokic on his left side trying to set a pin down for Michael Porter Jr., right? And you see his physicality. You see him being locked up, hand to hand, arm to arm. So Jokic pops out instead. And now by Jokic popping out, he just literally cooked Rudy Gobert for these 3 things. Understand? Because now, from going from the screener as a pop, Rudy has to navigate around the screen, 1. He has to close out now, 2. And he has to play defense going backwards, 3. And Rudy Gobert can't do none of those, and he's only known for protecting the rim, despite being Defensive Player of the Year. Jokic has got Rudy. He turns, clear out. I'm about to get busy. Right? You on the island, Rudy. You on the island, right? All those accolades can't stop you right here on the island. And so notice what happens, right? You got Ant on this weak side, hands on the hips. Hands on the hips. I know we tired. I know we dropping 40, 45, but hands on the hips on the weak side when you got Jokic in the post with Rudy on him and you know he going to be cooking him, you can't do that. You got to make sure you locked in, right? You got to make sure you locked in at all times. And so understand what happens. As Jokic gets lower and lower, he ends up getting to the point where he turns over this shoulder, and now Ant is not ready to take away this dunker with Cat also stepping over. And you may be like, all right, then he's going to open up this corner. But he's not going to open up the corner. Because understand, if he decided to take away this dunker spot, Jokic now has to throw a skip pass from this block to that corner over the hands of Cat and Rudy. And then that's going to allow enough time for Alexander Walker to get to KCP, and then also McDaniels, whatever time, to get to Michael Porter Jr. And now you're going to have probably 3 seconds, 2 seconds, or maybe no more time on the shot clock. That ball's going to have to go all the way in the air, boom, down to KCP. You will be able to play in rotation off of that. So you would have got the stop and would have been able to build off that momentum had that dunker spot been taken away, but also great play by Jokic, just making that read on in. A lot of y'all high school hoopers do what Michael Porter Jr. is doing, right? You try to initiate a pass from an area where you are not a threat. So your defender just backs up and takes away all the angles. But all you got to do is this. Look, you just got to get yourself in a little bit of a range so you can establish yourself as a threat and you can initiate that pass. And now Jokic got it. And now pay attention. Nickeil Alexander-Walker turns his back. He can't see both. And so what does Jamal Murray do? He cuts. And now pay attention to McDaniels. The second that McDaniels steps over to that nail, pass is fired to that weak side. You got to read the help, and you got to create advantages. And the key in those situations is movement. That one cut by Murray opened up that three for KCP. The thing with all of these great passers is that they're not always going to pass to make an assist. They're simply going to pass for the sake of gravity and being able to have an advantage. So when this pass gets thrown to KCP, that's meant to get thrown to AG. And that intention of throwing a pass so that it gets to the next player that you're not directly throwing the pass to, which is why hockey assists should be tracked. And if hockey assists were tracked, Jokic might fuck around and win 5 more MVPs. They already be glazing them off of that near triple-double. But if you start throwing hockey assists in there, they about to go dummy on Jokic's meat. Pause. Pause, bro. They about to... When you decide to actually learn moves and how to do them properly, like with a spin, you'll actually get yourself in situations where you peek the ball on the outside shoulder on this spin, and you force the defender, when they do reach, to have to go through hand to then reach the ball. Boom, bucket, and one. Because he just learned how to do the move and keep the ball protected with that outside shoulder. The most overlooked and the most important shot that a big needs in today's game is a floater. But rarely do you see bigs go in the gym and work on floaters. All they want to do is work on the threes and step backs and all this other shit. They want to be a guard. They want to be like Wemby. But if you really just do want to make a living and actually be effective, you'll get this right here, like Jokic does, and know how to layer it like he does in his next few plays. So he sets this screen right here, right? Cat over on the show, right? But once Jokic catches this, he reads, all right, Cat, he's too close to me. Gobert, he's stepping over. So what read do I make? Skip that to the corner. Now corner goes to Christian Brown. He literally just went, don't got the floater, read the help, skip that to the corner. And now what's going to end up also occurring? Couple plays down, right? Another screen occurs. Underneath, rescreen, you go over. And now once I get this catch here, Gobert stepping over, I can get this flow. But the one thing I need to do here, adjust the touch I put on it. Notice where he puts the ball. Got to put an extra touch on that rock. Got to put a touch on that rock so you can get over the help defense. Gets that bucket. And now on this third play, right? Couple minutes later, you got a handoff here with Jamal Murray. Screen occurs. Similar to the first one that we seen. Murray going to the right side, Cat on that show. And now when Jokic gets this, Cat's all the way over here. I have room and I'm comfortable enough to get into this floater with my own pace. I don't even have to get into the space of Gobert and I get my floater. Those short rolls are a necessity. This right here are 3 things bigs must stop doing. First and foremost, right here. First, moving screens. Keep your ass still. What the fuck is you moving for, right? And make sure your guard doesn't leave too early. First, right? Now the second thing, right? On rebounds, you got Gobert down here, Jamal Murray in front of him. What's the need to push him when you're already bigger than him, right? Loose ball foul. Second thing. And third, when you get the ball in the post, don't think you the strongest dude in the world. Don't think you got super strength or some shit and now you can just bulldoze your way to the rim, right? You got to be careful for this on the second bump. Pull in the chair. Boom, travel right there. Turnover. Rudy Gobert did all that in a 90-second span in the last 4.5 minutes of the game. Come on, man. Y'all got to get rid of those habits. Y'all got to get rid of those habits if you're big. Notice this as well, right? So you got Jokic with Ant. I don't know what type of ball fake that was. He was probably just fooling around, right? And now you got a double coming from Mike Conley. Give it up. So now you can end up getting the ball right back and take away that double. But even with the double coming, you got to understand where the space is, right? The space baseline and ain't take it away. At this point in the game, you practically defeated. You got no answer for Jokic and you're cooked.